Hello, Raw Food Rehab. It's Wednesday, December the 2nd, and I'm delighted that you're joining me again today for today's video. I just wanted to say that I've gotten some emails from people that have shared with me that they're a little bit confused about the way the website runs, and they just aren't quite sure. And that there's so much information all scattered out that they just would like to see something a little bit more streamlined, like maybe a user's manual or something along those lines. So I spent the morning putting together an official welcome letter. Whether you're brand new to Raw Food Rehab or you've been here for a while and you're still kind of going, where do I post this? Or where do I go to find this particular kind of information? I've put together a letter for you, and I've left it at the hospitality desk. So I'd really love for everybody to take just a moment and read that letter. I really think it's going to answer some questions that you might have that are outstanding, and it'll help you to be able to make the most of this website and to help you make it more user-friendly for you. There's so much here, and I really want to make that information accessible, as accessible as possible for everybody. So the link to that official welcome letter is right underneath this video. Now, Raw Food Rehab, the title of our website really does say a lot about the essence of why I think that we're all here. And I even wrote on the main page today that a number of reputable raw food educators teach and believe that cooked foods can be an addiction. Maybe not every kind of cooked food, but specifically cooked foods that are maybe high in fat, high in sugar, that are more processed. They believe that they actually have an addictive chemical in those foods that when the foods are cooked or processed, they elicit like almost an opiate type reaction in our bodies. And more and more research is being done to prove that that theory is absolutely true. So, is it possible that you and I struggle with food addictions? Maybe not everybody does, but a number of us, those of us who have struggled with food and that we feel like we've been on this roller coaster of, we're doing really well for a while and then all of a sudden, boom, off the wagon. Although we say we don't have an official wagon here at Raw Food Rehab, but you know what I'm talking about if you've had any kind of struggles with food. Okay, so does that mean you have a food addiction? Well, I don't know, some of you may have this book, The Live Food Factor, and I think it's a fabulous book, and I love their definition of addiction, and I wanted to read that to you today. Addiction is a process over which we are powerless, and that leads to self-sabotage and ultimately, when allowed, to run its course to self-destruction. Addiction works at the subconscious level. It takes the path of least resistance. It defies conscious attempts to change. It takes control. It causes the addict to think and do things that are dangerously against his or her best interest. It works against the highest personal values that one has. It leads to becoming progressively more obsessive with thoughts and feelings that lead to compulsive and destructive actions and behaviors. It is characterized by fear and danger to oneself and others. Its sure sign is denial when confronted with a better way. So, when I think of an addict, we think of somebody in the back room of some crack house, ODing on something. I mean, that's sort of always been my concept of what addiction is. But if we want to get really honest with ourselves, many of us struggle with addiction to other substances, maybe things like brownies, cheese, potato chips, pizza. It's typically junk food. Those foods are particularly devoid of any nutritional value, and our bodies, when our bodies are out of balance, tend to crave those foods. If you're struggling with something that sounds like it could be an addiction, you're at the right place. I mean, that's what we're here to do, and we're here to roll up our sleeves, and we're here to work together to uncover ways to move forward and put these addictive, destructive behaviors behind us. If you feel like your weight loss and your ultimate health goals are being sabotaged by behaviors, and if you feel like you spend a lot of time in your mind criticizing yourself, if you feel like you're constantly feeling inadequate or like a failure, you're at the right place. This is going to be a 3-part series at least, where we really get deeper into the study of what we can do to take control of our lives. It doesn't happen overnight, but I've been spending a lot of time on this, basically out of my own personal need to overcome some of these demons that I have grown very weary of dealing with. So I'm just kind of giving you the teaser today. This is what we're going to be talking about for several more days. This topic of, do we really need raw food rehab? And if so, what can you expect to happen? It's a lot more than an 11-week initiative to just lose weight and to get a little bit healthier. I really want to work with you on big-time life changes. And I believe that as a group, building this group momentum and with, getting ourselves in line mentally, physically, and spiritually, there's hope for every single one of us, no matter how much you weigh, no matter how sick you feel, no matter what the doctors have told you about your condition. There's help for you. And I am so glad that you're here with us. So please stay tuned, and I'd love to hear how you're doing today. In the discussion thread below, just let us know where you are, what's going on with you, how things are going. Do you feel like you're struggling? Do you feel like you need an additional level of help and instruction? Are you willing to do some of the things that we talk about on this website? All those questions, think about those. I'd love to hear from you today. Love you. Bye.